At sunset, the savannah looked peaceful. Golden rays of the sun fell on the tall grass, while antelopes slowly approached the Zambezi River to drink the cool water. The wind carried the scent of damp earth, birdsong mixed with the distant roar of lions. Yet in this silence, danger already lurked unseen. Beneath the smooth surface of the water, a giant crocodile lay hidden, its eyes barely above the murky river. Its jaws were like a trap, ready to snap shut at any moment. Patient and motionless, it waited while the herd cautiously approached, selecting its target. Among the antelopes stood out a young male, inexperienced but bold. He stepped forward, lowered his head to the water, and in that instant, the surface exploded with a splash. The crocodile's powerful jaws snapped shut just inches from his muzzle. Panic erupted in the herd, and the animals scattered. The young antelope barely dodged but slipped, ending up right at the river's edge. The crocodile lunged again, its massive tail striking the water and raising muddy spray. At that very moment, from the bushes emerged a leopard. Normally, it would hunt the antelopes, but now its attention was drawn to the chaos. The young leopard was a predator, yet curiosity and instinct pushed it closer. It saw the antelope desperately fighting to escape the crushing jaws. Then, the leopard did the unthinkable. It leapt straight onto the crocodile's back. The water exploded again, filled with roars and hissing. The leopard's claws dug deep into the reptile's thick hide, and a desperate struggle began. The crocodile spun violently, pulling both into deeper waters, but the leopard clung on. The antelope, seizing the chance, broke free and stumbled back to the herd. It seemed the leopard's fate was sealed. The crocodile's power was overwhelming. But suddenly, a strange sound echoed through the grass, a long hiss. From the undergrowth slithered a massive python, drawn by the smell of blood and the chaos. The fight became even deadlier. The snake slid swiftly toward the battle and, without hesitation, coiled itself around the leopard, tightening its rings. The predator was now caught between two lethal foes. The crocodile dragged it under, while the python constricted with relentless force. The leopard roared hoarsely, slashing at the snake with its claws while striking at the crocodile's jaws. The water turned crimson, swirling in violent circles, and it seemed the end was near. But suddenly, a sharp crack rang out a gunshot from nearby. On the bank stood a man with a rifle. This was Kofi, a ranger patrolling the area. He had witnessed the extraordinary sight. 3 predators locked in a life or death struggle. Instead of firing to kill, he aimed upward and shot into the air, sending a thunderous warning. The deafening sound startled the animals. The python loosened its grip and slipped back into the grass, vanishing. The crocodile, unnerved, turned and retreated into the depths of the river. Exhausted, the leopard dragged itself onto the shore and collapsed in the sand, trembling. Kofi cautiously approached, rifle still in hand. The leopard raised its head, eyes burning not with aggression but with exhaustion. For a few seconds, man and beast locked eyes, and an odd connection was forged. Kofi understood. If he left it here, the leopard might not survive the night. He quickly radioed for backup. Soon a jeep arrived, and together the rangers carefully netted the weakened leopard to transport it to a wildlife rescue center. It resisted weakly, but had no strength to fight. Placed into a cage, it was driven away across the dusty road. Veterinarians immediately tended to it. They treated the deep scratches, cleaned the snake bites, and stitched the crocodile wound. For days, the leopard lay in the enclosure recovering, while Kofi visited daily, bringing water and meat. Slowly, trust began to form between them. But in the wild, trust is dangerous. Kofi's superiors insisted the animal must be released once recovered. He knew it was right, but the weight pressed on his heart, as if parting with a friend. The day of release finally came. They brought the cage back to the river where the battle had taken place. The door opened, and the leopard stepped out, moving slowly. It paused, its gaze fixed on Kofi, and let out a low, almost friendly growl before vanishing into the tall grass. The ranger stood watching, realizing he had witnessed something extraordinary. That day, Nature revealed how fragile the line between life and death can be, and how even the fiercest predators are vulnerable. But the most astonishing part came later. Weeks afterward, Kofi was once again patrolling the area. Suddenly, from the bushes, a familiar silhouette appeared, the same leopard. It did not attack, only paused for a moment, looked at him, and disappeared once more. To Kofi, this was a sign. Gratitude, expressed in the only way a wild creature could. From then on, he often told this story, and the locals named it the Legend of the Zambezi River, the day when a leopard fought a crocodile and a snake and survived. The tale spread far beyond Africa. Tourists arrived hoping to glimpse the legendary leopard, while rangers would say, nature writes stories greater than any human imagination, and sometimes it lets us witness them. Days turned into months, yet the memory of that battle never left Kofi's mind. Every time he walked near the river, he felt a chill, imagining the leopard's roar, the hiss of the snake, and the splash of the crocodile. The savannah never truly forgot its legends. One evening, when the sky burned crimson with the setting sun, Kofi heard a sound that made his heart stop. From the tall grass came a deep growl, familiar, powerful. The leopard had returned, but this time, it wasn't alone. Behind it padded two cubs, their spots bright against the fading light. The sight stunned Kofi. Could it be that this leopard, once nearly killed, now trusted enough to reveal its offspring? The cubs played clumsily in the grass, while the mother sat calmly, her eyes watching Kofi with a strange calmness, not hostility, but recognition. For long minutes, man and leopard family shared the same silence of the savannah, as if united by an invisible bond. Then, with a flick of her tail, the leopard led her cubs away, vanishing like a shadow into the twilight. But for Kofi, it felt like a gift, a secret shared. From then on, the rangers often noticed paw prints near the patrol routes, signs that the leopard still roamed close. And whenever tourists asked about the legend, Kofi would smile and reply, "Some stories never end, they just continue in the eyes of the next generation."